best thing on board is the ship's cyberneticist. His name is Mix Ninegold. He looks quite similar to the way Rolf Apollo looked in Char Aldebaran. He doesn't say much, but he's probably incredibly deep.
Miss Jones! Well, I didn't know you used the observation blister so late.
Well, I had a letter to finish, and, I thought it would be nice, you know, to look at the stars and everything. And please, you can call me Halo.
Halo? I'll remember that. Well, were you looking at any star in particular, Miss Jones?
Well, yes. I was looking at that bright one there. Do you see it? I thought it looked sort of lonely out there, all on its own in the dark. And at the same time, it looked, well, beautiful.
Miss Jones?
Halo, yes.
That's not a star. That's our solid waste disposal trailer.
That was the cartoon character Halo Jones, as brought to life by the In the Red Theatre Company. More from them later on. Now, Halo Jones is one of many cartoon characters who have leapt from the pages of 2000 AD magazine. I have with me tonight Pat Mills and Kevin O'Neill, whose names have got strong links with the magazine itself. Can you just quickly tell us what are your links with 2000 AD?
Well, I started 2000 AD about 10 or 11 years ago, and I've written some of the lead stories in it down the years, like Nemesis with Kevin, Slain, ABC Warriors, some Judge Dredd's, most of the sort of leading stories.
So you're the writer and Kevin's the illustrator.
Yep.
As a team. But what were the origins of the magazine itself?
Well, I think it was an attempt for comics to sort of come out of the Stone Age into the Bronze Age. I think we still have a long way to go.
What sort of comics were you trying to break away from?
Well, we were trying to break away from the traditional comic, which seems as though it was aimed at about an 8-year-old.
What sort of Beano and Dandy?
Lion, Valiant, Jet, that kind of thing. And
so you wanted to raise the level of readership from sort of 8 to 12-year-old to what?
To, well, really ongoing. I think 2000 AD readers have grown up with a comic by and large. In other words, many of them were, say, 11 or 12 when they started.
How long ago was that?
11 years ago. And they're now 20, 21. They're still reading 2000 because we've evolved with them.
Yeah. And what has the significance of the magazine 2000 AD been for comic book writers and artists?
Although it's science fiction, I think there's a subversive undertone to the whole thing. It's making a point about society, politics, or whatever. Yeah. And I think as it's going on, we're getting stronger and stronger.
Well, one of the subversive titles that has leapt from the pages of that is Marshal Law, which I think we'll see a few pictures of thrown up on our screens now. Now, Marshal Law was something that you and Kevin have worked on together. Can you tell us very quickly what the sort of plot is, the basic?
Marshal Law is a hero hunter. He suspects that America's greatest superhero is also the Sleep Man, a pervert who attacks and murders women. Yeah. And he has to sort of work his way through the San Futuro establishment, this futuristic city, to get to the truth.
Now, Marshal Law 1 was an instant sellout, and number 2 as well. Marshal Law 3 has been a bit long in coming to us. What have been the reasons for that, Kevin?
Well, the main problem is back in issue 2, the colour separators who handled Marshal Law objected quite vehemently to the rape scene.
The rape scene?
It's a rape scene. Well, the Sleep Man rapes...
We can hold this up to...
Marshal Law's girlfriend.
2.
And the idea was we wanted to portray it as horrifically as possible. It's not lascivious or...
This is pretty horrific and pretty disgusting. Do you think it is justified within the bounds of a comic book?
I think it is, because comic books can be as broad-based as the movies or as TV or as plays.
But a kid of 6 can't get into an 18 certificate movie, but a kid of 6 can pick up Marshal Law.
A kid of 6 indeed has picked up a copy of Marshal Law and caused this to be banned in one American bookstore chain, Alden Books, but rather similar to W.H. Smith's. This is really the fault of the shops, because they rack our sort of book along with Alf and Thundercats.
You should be on the top shelf, you mean?
Well, we should be in a separate section, the same as adult books in a separate section.
So what age group would you say that Marshal Law is OK with?
I would say a typical age would be 16, 17. Obviously, there are younger readers. A lot depends on their mental development. But the whole theme of the story is that what the Sleep Man is doing is very ugly. It's against women and so on. And to show it in any other way, to show it in a more hole-in-the-wall sort of way would be arguably appealing to voyeurs. I mean, it's ugly, and nobody's going to get off on that.
Right. And the way the two of you work, I mean, how often are you in communication about stories and stuff? Do you get very excited about it?
Phone bills are astronomical. We spend hours on the phone, howling with laughter at what we imagine we're going to be working on next. So far, Epic Comics, who published Marshal Law, have given us plenty of rope.
But one thing that just still in my mind, I think a lot of people still would pick up something like Marshal Law and look for the sex and violence in it. Do you think that's not sort of...
No, I don't think so. I think once they get to reading the story and they see what it's all about, it all falls into place. It's an attack on the traditional hero. The traditional hero is really full of macho bullshit, and I think by the time they get to the end of Marshal Law, they'll realise that.
I gather you're going to be doing some work with Ian Gibson, the illustrator of Halo Jones.
That's right. It's a story about the Third World, and I think once again it reflects the way comics are going towards more political themes.
Oh, that's great. Thanks very much for coming in, Kevin and Pat. We'll be looking at Halo Jones in a minute. Now, you can see this piece of artwork here that Kevin has been doing for us. Now, we're going to give this away and 2 copies of Marshal Law in part 2 when we look at Halo Jones. So this will be finished by then. Anyway, stick around, because coming up, we've got a break, and then there'll be a lot more in the comic world with the In the Red Theatre Company's production of Halo Jones. There'll be a little clip of that there. And, as I say, more fabulous artwork from Kevin.